Nerd Soul.
Late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. Yo, we got some comics to talk about, y'all. And I am not by myself. I got open mind in the spot. What's up,
What's up, NERDSoul family? How y'all feeling? Glad to be back.
man? We up in here chilling, and we've got a special presentation. Now, it's just something that we've been waiting for. We've been covering Corrupt as a video game for a while, but if you guys remember, Jesse Wright, who is kind of like at the head of the whole Corrupt team, posted on Instagram that he's been writing about Gatling and these characters since he was a kid. Looking forward to sharing the story with the world soon. Hashtag indie game, hashtag indie game dev, all that stuff. And he was showing the first issue of Corrupt as far as a comic book. He said it's going to be 6 issues. The first one is called, or chapter one is called Invasion, and you know, all of us got a chance to see like this cool kind of like foil cover, and he's like flipping it back and forth, and it looks awesome. Well, guess what? Aha! We got a chance to get get our eyeballs on, it, get a little ready read, and we're not gonna drop everything for you because this is a huge issue. Like there's a lot of information packed into it, but I'll throw it to Open Mind first as far as the comic book in general. As far as this presentation, how are you feeling about the issue as a whole?
I'm absolutely blown away. Like I did not know what to expect going into it,
Hmm.
and so from the first panel to the last panel, man, it's like it is a soap opera done so magnificently. You know, so like I gotta reread it. First of all, I need to go back in there
Yeah,
because I
because they
missed some
drop they
stuff.
drop a lot of information on it.
Man, like I gotta. There was some arguments that took place in that thing that were like, wait a minute, what happened again? Like like it's like it's fun. It was a great ride. It was a great roller coaster ride. Took you up and down, and then to be continued at the end, of course, like it's supposed to be. And I'm just eager to see that. I'm eager to see how the story unfolds. So I'm gonna tell you what. I already have a favorite character, and of course, this will probably change over time because I just
Mhm.
got this one episode. My favorite character already is Dragon.
Yo, man, that character is crazy, and like we got another video coming where we're talking about like all of the August updates because we've been following this game pretty closely because it's something new, it's like refreshing, and it's very cool. In August, they did a whole lot, so we gonna check that video for the August updates where they dropped all kinds of trailers. They were at Evo, all that stuff. But Dragonov, he got his little trailer love too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He got a little something out there. But
I didn't expect to see that gameplay so soon. And
yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's striking off!" Like, "Oh, the Don Dada, he is the Don, bro." Like, Dragunov. Like, of course, there's more that need to be said. I don't have any backstory. I just you got some visuals, then you get to see him in action on the screen. That's just a clip, but it's like I'm not. I don't know this for sure. I'm guessing he's going to be the boss character of the game, or if
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
boss character, the
He
sub boss. He's somebody he's gonna have some very cheap tactics because boss characters should have cheap tactics. That's not a bad thing, and just the personality along with it. I can't wait to see him. Oh,
Yeah, and even in this issue, he's kind of like presented as the main villain. Um,
yeah,
but for me, first impressions, this thing really shines as far as the action is concerned because they don't make you wait a long time. Even in the beginning of the comic book, we get a lot of, I guess you could say, like a tense feeling around these characters, around like the society. So we never get a chance to lull in this. That mixed with the art, I think the art is really cool. Like the way it's presented, it's this nice mix of like, I don't know, kind of like an animation type style, like the way it's kind of colored and right, like presented, but also with, I'd say maybe not specifically anime, but it definitely has some edges of kind of like an anime style when it comes to some of the like the technology or some of like the suits that people are wearing.
Mhm.
So I thought that was cool too. But the way they break, separate panels and mixed panels, I just thought it was like very well put together, and it was super cool to see so much action. You know, you,
I felt like I was watching an anime cartoon unfold in still images. Like, like it's I don't read comic books as often as I used to when I was a kid. But when you read a comic book, you got to immerse yourself in, right?
mhm.
You got to the best way I can paint this picture is the this is all comic book. This not just this episode. If you're gonna read a comic book, it's best to just really like stare at the page like an optical illusion. Like if you ever took that class or took that little thing in school where you look at images and pull them away from your face and put them back in, you
Yeah,
got to stare at these panels, and a lot of things will jump out at you, and you kind of put the puzzle together. Each panel has a journey for you to follow. Before you go to the next panel, make sure you connect all those dots with everything that images is coming at you. The words, the images, the effects. Take it all in before you go to the next panel, because if you have a wild imagination, you can kind of see it playing out in cartoon form in your head. So for me, that's probably why I missed so much, because I kind of dove into each panel, and I kind of made the characters move in my own mind, and I was like, oh, that's dope. I like that move, or that cannonball, or that sword strike. Or it was just so, for me, it was I was blown away by it, and I can't wait for it to become an anime, some like in motion, not necessarily like in 3D, like play out like a cartoon that you can watch, and
yeah,
and the,
that'd be cool.
you know what I'm saying, like like, in other words, the game can be 3D, that's cool, but if it goes to cartoon syndication, I would like for it to be cartoon and make those characters move, and rival, if not be better than any Marvel, because the art is there.
Oh yeah,
Somebody
definitely.
can animate these characters, not 3D. Now, if it looks good 3D, then fine. Forget what I'm saying. But what my visual is, the way it's drawn, the way the art is presented. I think if it's animated properly, it will be a bad anime cartoon, like the really dope anime cartoon.
Yeah, definitely. Like the from from the council meetings over to like Mount, like on Mount High with training and
Yeah, stuff like that.
spaceships and interstellar travel. Like this thing really, it really moves through the story in a way that can be, like either anime or cinematic. It moves very well. And I did say that I want to, with the whole interstellar travel thing, I guess what I'll do is give sort of like the premise of what we're seeing in this issue. And the basic premise that we're getting is you kind of have two stories in this book. You get a story of what kind of went on in the past in this world from I guess you could say, a technical or a scientific standpoint, where you have this character that we're following, and he has to stand before a council because he's made some type of mistake that we're brought in on, and he's doing his own experiments on his own lab, and it ends in a tragedy of this huge explosion. But even in this, we're introduced to so much. Like
Yeah.
we're introduced to, okay, these are apparently either in the future or extremely advanced beings, and also they have some type of aristocracy because they're talking about houses and councils and you know
It could be.
uh
It could be both. It could be in the future with advanced beings. Like
true.
it's two things can be true. It could.
It,
For me, I don't see so much as the timeline. Like I can look at the images and tell that this is an advanced race of people who have some technology that they've harnessed and they've
yeah,
used to their
crazy
advantage.
technology.
good and bad. You got the good guys and the bad guys, but there's a level of intelligence where they've harnessed the elements around them that and turned it into technology. A lot of that stuff is just all science. Magic is just science that we don't understand yet. So everybody that has abilities in this thing is no different from Marvel. It's just science. And I don't. The timeline for me doesn't mean that it's not that significant. It's more about we as humans, what we can aspire to be if we just use our mind. Like, yeah, it's all a cartoon and stuff, but some of this stuff is not too far fetched from reality. Like
Oh no, not at all.
we can make some of this stuff reality that we see as fantasy.
Yeah, and one thing I like about the start of this with the whole council thing is the issue is called invasion. And for the
Yeah.
first, I don't know, like 10 pages or whatever, you're like, what invasion? I don't get it. We're dealing with this scientist, and he's definitely getting, reamed out by this tri-council. There's issues with whatever he's doing, and he doesn't need their approval. They're kind of like they're stripping his like authority, and you're like, I don't get it.
Mhm.
And even when he's kind of like stripped of his rights and everything, and he's trying to like distance himself from the house so they don't see too much pain from it, he goes to this random lab, and you're like, whoa, hold up. So you're working on some kind of crazy project with some weird person who I believe we've already seen in the trailer before, but you know what I'm saying? You're working on this weird experiment stuff. I'm pretty sure there's a reason the council was trying to, slow you down or pull your coattails a little bit. Like, you got some
Mhm.
secret lab people don't even know about, but the lab has staff and everything. I was like, yeah, this guy might be doing wrong. But the drama that's brought in with it, like this is a fully realized character. This guy has kids, he has staff, he has responsibility to his house. Like, we're brought into all this, and I like the fact that we're starting in a world that already exists, and we're just like walking into it. Not a situation where it's like, okay, this is day one and blah blah blah. It's like, no, this book does a good job of just getting it going, like from the
It's
beginning.
one of those. I see it from a Pulp Fiction perspective, where you
Hmm.
kind of start where the action is already starting, and then as the story progresses, you get the backstory over time, which is fine. You don't
Yeah,
have to know everything up front. That's not knowing everything up front before you watch something or read something or whatever. That kind of takes the 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 mystery out of it. The I can't think of the word right now, but it's okay, right? It's not a big deal that we're thrown into the action of this story, and everything's thrown in. All these characters are thrown in. We don't have really no backstory on anybody. We just see these characters. Everybody's talking. Everybody's doing their thing, and I'm interested in everybody and knowing everybody's story. Each individual character that had screen time, so to speak, if you will.
yeah.
You know,
And I'm
there's
super
a reason.
interested in this gold chick that just like, I guess, awakens and straight starts murdering people. And then on top of that, there's this huge, like, I guess, nuclear style explosion that kind of kicks off the second story, or kind of like kicks off what we know in the second story, where we get to, the whole reason for naming this invasion. And like that whole opening for, like 12, 13 pages or something like that is chock full of like suspense. And they really do a good job of making you play the guessing game of like, hold on, what's going on? Why is he in trouble? Why is this a big deal? What's he doing wrong? And then even as he leaves, when he's saying his goodbyes, you're like, I don't get, this guy doesn't seem like a bad guy. I mean, he was kind of like, I guess you could say flippant with the council, but I mean, maybe it was for good reason. And then when you see the secret lab, you're like, oh, okay. maybe maybe he was doing wrong. And then of course to see what happens with the gold, I guess, being that comes out because she's speaking some type of like alien language or whatever, it really drives home like, okay, this guy has been, or his team or whatever, has been messing with some very volatile stuff, and that's probably the reason why people weren't too, pleased with him in the council. But it just
Well,
doesn't.
I want to stand in solidarity with him for a moment, even though I don't really know everything that's going on. So let me start some controversy real quick. I just want to get a little controversial, put some spice up. Speaking on the gentleman who was being addressed by the council, right?
Yeah, the primer.
Off top, I already sympathize with him, even though I don't know the full extent of what was going on. Because when you're speaking truth to power, there's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
When you're rebellious like that, when you put it all on the line, knowing the consequences, knowing that your disruptive behavior can have some serious consequences, and you know that to be true, and you still yet, all right, well, I got my balls in my word, and I'm going in, I don't care. That individual, I sympathize with that individual myself as a person. Now, as a kid, I always loved the hero. Everybody likes the hero, but as you get older and live a little life, you kind of understand where the villains are coming from, or the anti-heroes are coming from, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't cheer the villain on. I don't want the villain to take over the world and destroy planets. But the things villains say to heroes, or to just if they have screen time and they're talking, you gotta just be honest with yourself a lot of times and hear the villain out. Like, I'll use Joker, the Dark Knight's Batman Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker. There's a scene where he said he was burning up his half of the money and for the gangsters, and the gangsters was, like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm only burning my half. He's like, you people only care about money. It's not about money. It's about sending a message. The Joker, and then when Alfred said something to Bruce about, like, you don't understand the magnitude of the person you're dealing with. And he told him a story about when he was a little kid and they was robbing for jewels, and the thieves gave all of the kids jewels because it was about the sport of the steal, not so much as the greed of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the point the Joker is making, he was trying to tell the villains of Gotham, like, Gotham needs a new villain. Y'all out here just want to get rich. Who cares? Like, what do I need with money? I'm a villain. I can destroy stuff. I can blow up a hospital. I can do whatever I want to do. You guys do this for money, but you call yourselves villains. Now I'm not a villain, and nor do I cheer them on. But that is a solid point. It's like, yo, what are we doing here? We're doing this for money. You're telling me that you're a criminal and you still need money to exist. You understand me? It's like, so you have to understand, like, the Joker is not the type of villain that you can persuade with money. Yeah. He's a person that's gonna
y'all ain't real villains. Y'all got a job.
Yeah, and usually the villain in any type of art, any type of situation, they become villains because at one point they were just trying to show someone something, realize the truth. There's something important over here that y'all ignoring, and then now it's gotten out of hand. It's too late. Now the person is gone to the dark side. Now they want to destroy everything. But all in all, every villain has a simplicity about them. It's just, look at this truth that you guys refuse to avoid, right? Mm-hmm. And you refuse it so vehemently that you call yourself hero. I save people. I save kittens from trees. I save people from burning houses. But this other big truth over here that you're ignoring, and you want to call yourself, that's what a villain does. A villain goes for the jugular. They tell the truth that nobody wants to deal with, that that elephant in the room is the villain. It's that elephant in the room that's roaring and trampling and stampeding, and everybody's just going about their little lives like they don't see this elephant that's just doing whatever. That's what villains are, or anti-heroes. People that, I'll do the right thing in this moment, but I'm not going to go out of my way to save people who obviously want to hurt themselves, or obviously enjoy the toxicity that they live in. Who am I to tell them they can't? So and of course, I don't know anything about why this man was addressing the council I just immediately sympathized with him because he was speaking truth to power. And I feel, and I've always been that person that felt like my voice wasn't heard. I was muffled. I'm dismissed. Nobody wants to hear. Power doesn't want to hear what I have to say. Power just wants me to shut up and just, be a good little soldier and do as you're told. But when you
Hmm.
address an obvious truth or an obvious discrepancy that that your status in life doesn't qualify you to address this truth, but it's the truth nonetheless. So you're not going to hear me unless I'm on your level status or whatever that high it is. But that, and then those people in those positions usually are heroes often and have their platitudes. They'll accept it from someone they deem is equal to them, but they'll dismiss it from someone they think is less than them, but it's still a truth nonetheless. You know, so I'm not cheering the villains on, but I just couldn't help, you know, having all automatic sympathy for him. The way the council was dealing with him, you out of line, and
Yeah,
watch yourself, and it's like they really just was looking down their nose at him,
and
and
they
maybe
was
he's
trying to take all his
deserving.
technology and everything. Like they
Yeah,
were.
man. And maybe he's deserving of it. I could be wrong in everything I just said. It's just that I automatically sympathized with him, and I automatically took a liking to Drogonov because when he was sitting on that chair, because it's just like villains have a point. They always have a point. They always do.
That
Like I
man
want
came
the
in and
heroes to
was.
win, but the villains do have a point sometimes.
Yeah, he came in. He came in. He won't playing. And matter of fact, I'm gonna go into that. And the second part of this issue is called. Well, the second part of this issue is the invasion. We're introduced, to years after that huge explosion. And it seems like they've enjoyed, their kind of reconstruction period. They've built back, built themselves back. They still have, like opulent buildings and great technology and, airplanes flying all over the place, hovercraft and stuff. And, seemed like, Dragonov, he ain't feeling that. Oh no. So we're introduced to like this beautiful landscape after the crazy explosion, but we're here now, with the Panzer is kind of built back. Oh, and the place that blew up was Panzer, but Panzer is back. It's beautiful. Everything seems fine, but I'm saying, Dragonov, he ain't that. Like he him and his crew, Dragonov, Beretta, Destroy, ain't none of them feeling that. They ain't trying to hear none of that. And we're introduced to Gatling. We've introduced to Winry. And the way we're introduced is through a literal invasion from Dragonov on a crazy scale. Like, I mean, like you said, he comes in straight boss style. And he says, like blow everything up basically. And um the president who's there, he calls him a demon and he says, you lust for nothing but destruction. Uh Sorry, your lust for our destruction is nothing compared to the will and the hope of the people. And then Dragunov says, let's test that theory. It straight blows them up. Bruh, Dragunov ain't no joke. That's all I'm gonna say. Like he ain't playing. Like look, he ain't pulling no punches. He living that life for real, for real. Like and then of course there's a explosion and all of that ensues, but we also get introduced to Gatling, who is not the person in the front of the poster, but he's like right beside, because Winry is on the front, but he's like right beside the front, so he's still going to be like probably a very popular character because he's on the cover of this issue. So we see him training, he's stepping his game up, and he even talks about like pushing himself to the limits. But you see, he's part of this, I guess society in Panzer with like this hyper technology. And I mean, of course, if you've seen some of these trailers, like all these people look super, technological and cybernetic and all of that stuff. So one cool thing here is that you see that he has, like Callus had in the beginning, the scientist, you see he has his own, like, I guess Jarvis. He has his Jarvis that he can talk to, and that, helps him train, and, like, is his kind of, like, I guess, digital helper to bounce off thoughts or whatever. And through his training, he's introduced to Winry through a whole crazy portal explosion in this invasion. So the way that this part of the issue was handled takes the suspense from the first one, says, all right, y'all don't have to worry about suspense no more. Suspense is over. We had an explosion. But now everything's just going to go crazy. You're going to get fights on fights on fights. And from a comic book about a fighting game, I appreciate that.
Oh,
I truly
definitely.
do.
This is like you just don't get this for the launch of a fighting game. You just don't
Nah.
get this. This is unique, and I'm excited to see it unfold, man. I'm excited to see it all unfold. Oh, wanted to bring up a thing. Now back to Gatling.
All right, what's up?
What type of powers is that he had? Would you say he has quantum powers?
Yeah, it does look like some kind of speed type of power, or maybe he's able to. I don't know.
Quantum tells me that he's dealing with, the microscopic, that the elements around him. That gives him out teleport and stuff like that. Because he has one panel, he's like quantum strike, and I was just like quantum strike. So
or,
I'm thinking,
yeah, he says quantum slash. It's like he charges up a little bit, and
so
then he goes through all of these characters.
I'm thinking his ability is he taps into the quantum field, and it allows him to move about. It would appear to be that he's moving fast, but he's really just going through portals.
He got a drive rush. You know what I'm saying? He got.
I would say he's going through portals. Like, look, like, I don't know if you watch Naruto, but Naruto's dad.
Oh, the Yellow Flash.
Yellow Flash. He wasn't fast that he ran fast. He teleports. The secret to Minato's power wasn't that he was actually a faster ninja than everybody. He had a jutsu that he would put seals on things, and he would just do his little fingers up, like his two fingers up, and he could just teleport to wherever he put the seals on. Because what people don't know about Minato is every fight he's in, when he's doing his taijutsu and he mixing with you and he's boxing with you, he's putting seals on you every time he punch you. Every time he touch your body, he's hitting you with seals. So when y'all separate or y'all break up or y'all just create distance from each other, if you attack him or throw something at him, he does the jutsu hand signal and he disappears. Where it's like, how did he move so fast? It's not that he's moving fast; he's teleporting. The secret to Minato is that he's teleporting. So I'm thinking that that's what Gatling is. I'm thinking that Gatling has something similar to that, where it's not the seals, but he can just at will teleport out of the way or teleport to a different position, like he's in super position, right? At all times.
He definitely charges up and flies through them, and then you can see him kind of like screech to a halt.
Yeah, so it seems, or in Dragon Ball Z terms, hit has the time stop. I'm just, and this is just my observation. I don't know if what I'm saying is true or false. I'm just thinking that the secret or the explanation to Gatling's abilities is that he taps into the quantum field, which allows him to just be in super position at all times. So if you punch at him or you attack him and your eyes see him moving out of the way quickly, like he's moving like the Flash, but it's not that his body is moving like the Flash. He can just teleport to any point in time or any moment he wants to, which allows him to move out the way. So to your eyes, he's fast as lightning. But his actual ability, he's just teleporting. He's teleporting slightly. It's like you don't have to teleport a great distance. You can just teleport 2 feet to the left, 2 feet to the right, 2 inches to the left, 2 inches to the right. Like he can just, but his movement isn't him actually moving. He's probably standing perfectly still. But I think just from my observation, I could be wrong because as the story unfolds, I'm thinking Gatling's his ability is that he can just tap into the quantum field. He's always in superposition, and the way he dodges your attacks is that he's just teleport. And that's just my. I was just wondering if I was the only person that saw that, or if you saw that, because I'm just trying to get a feel of the character.
Yeah, because for me, I didn't think teleport. It to me, I was thinking maybe there's a situation where he kind of like bottles up or like stores energy, and then it kind of like propels him.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Because you see his clips, it looks like that. But reading the actual panel and seeing it in action, I'm just trying to, you know, I'm just being a nerd right now, trying
oh
to
yeah, I
figure out
feel you.
like how does his powers work? And I'm thinking my thoughts to anybody that would dive into this, I would compare him to Minato or Hit. The ability
Word up.
to be in superposition at all times. So if an attack is coming at you, of course your body is moving out of the way from the perception of your opponent, but what you're really doing is just teleport to wherever. Minato's case, he put seals all over the place. Minato was dropping seals. He putting seals everywhere, on trees, on leaves, on your. He'll put a seal on your body armor, right? He'll put a seal everywhere. He's always dropping seals. That's what Minato was doing. So anytime somebody attack him, he do his hand sign and quickly teleport to whatever seal he wants to go to. And from the perception of his attacker, this dude is fast. Nah, not really. He really stood still. And he teleported to a seal that he placed somewhere else. And that's where he stood. And now he can look around and see who just tried to attack me. Oh, that was you? Well, let me teleport to where you at it. Because all Minato's doing is just teleport. And then Hit is teleporting. He's creating a time bubble within the moment that him and his opponent is fighting. He's controlling the time. So as you try to punch at him, he goes back in time to stop it or to move out of the way of the punch before it even comes. So you hit that hit, looked like you punching through him like a ghost. All he did was move out of the way before your punch came. And he didn't really move that fast. And I'm thinking, guess what Gatling is doing? I'm thinking that Gatling is just always in superposition at all times. So when an attack comes at him, even if he don't see the attack, his reflexes will move his body out of the way, almost like ultra instinct. And he's not really moving that fast. It's just the ability to teleport to the left, to the right, slightly out of the way, so the attack won't hit you. And that's an awesome ability. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I could be completely wrong in all of this. It's just my observation.
Yeah, man. Like just the awesomeness of like having this, because like you said, this is at launch. So like having this comic to look at and then also having the you know, the actual game to roll with it is something that like it's sick to see like the powers play out on the page and in the game. Yeah, this is sick. And shouts to Coreupt for this, because the in this like I guess training montage or training segment with Gatling, we get Winry coming through. Then on Panzer, we get battles between Beretta and can't remember the young lady in purple. I can't remember her name right now. It'll come to me soon. But and then you get Destroy, who doesn't really fight against another named character, but you see Destroy, I mean, basically destroying. Like he ain't playing. Like he comes through, and all of the, I guess, Panzer's kind of like foot soldier forces. Man, he does away with them easily. Like he does. He
This
does
is
away
one of
with
those
them
games
with
where I'm
ease.
just gonna have to just play with everybody and see how everybody feels, because I was just playing Marvel vs. Capcom before we started this episode, and it's a game I probably played forever. I'm not trying to be the best in the world. It's just fun to jump and do your combo
Yeah.
at high speed like that. And I wish Dragon Ball Fighter Z didn't make the game so busted, or I'd still play that because I love air fighting and hyper fighting type games. So to say that I'm gonna play with this character, play with that character, I might end up just being good with everybody. Like, because you know I am a Street Fighter Six, and I play with
I mean, Street Fighter,
multiple characters.
yeah, you killing it on Street Fighter 6
Yeah,
right
like
now.
with multiple characters, not just one. So what I'll do is just touch the game. Right, you got to touch. I got to touch
Yep.
it. And when I touch, when I feel it in my hand, because I'm not a frame data person. I've never been a frame data guy. I've always been a person who just notices patterns, and I just feel the game. I got to feel it. I got to lose, right? I got to take L's to win. And I don't care. I don't mind taking L's because I'm not playing video games to be the best in the world. I'm playing for fun. So losing for me isn't losing. It's only to a pro player or a top player or the Evo winners, all those people. Losing for them is crushing for their little ego. I don't care about it. Like they beat me, I'm laughing. Like I might laugh at you if you beat me. I don't care. It's like I don't care. But I still do want to learn how to play said game.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna eventually become good at it because anything you do repetitively, you're gonna get good at. My intent is fun, but as a result, I'll just end up being good. That's just what it is.
Yeah, and I just got a name. I forgot. The young lady in purple, her name is Vector. So we get a Vector versus Beretta. We get Gatling versus Winry. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Dragunov ain't fighting. No, he too big for that. You know what I'm saying? He in a chair. He in a big chair.
The boss.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's essentially
that's beneath him.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send my little homies out to y'all.
Yeah, if you can't be destroyed, if you can't beat Beretta, we ain't trying. Look, you ain't. We ain't having none of that.
Listen, if the boss man even got to get up out of his chair, that means the opponent before him is worth him getting out of his chair. And we haven't seen that opponent yet, at least in the storyline. Now the game is gonna be the game, but as the story unfolds, we've yet to see the individual that's gonna make the Don Dada get up out his seat and grab his hammer and throw down. Because if he got to get up,
it might be Gatling, because when even in the issue, when Gatling finally joins the main battle, there's people that are like, oh, Gatling is here, like kind of like, oh snap, like, oh, we good now. You know what I'm saying? Because he got the quantum energy. You know what I'm saying? He about to zip around and destroy a whole bunch of robots and stuff. But with this, I guess I'll flip to what we could call final thoughts about this issue, because I'm digging this issue. I'm having fun reading it and talking about it with you. My final thoughts on this, or before we get to final thoughts, I'll say that this book does a good job of giving everybody their little shine moment. And one of my favorite shine moments is I know this is cliche, but it's Gatling catching Winry, like when he lands, because homie, he's like, all right, check it, teleport me in the air. Then dude comes in the air, he tosses her, beats up a whole bunch of people, then catches her before she lands. Like, bruh, like the dude was just come on, man. Gatling, he's dude.
Straight pimping. Straight pimping.
A brother with a sword, got a cape too. Come on, man.
I mean, he was straight pimping, and I mean, if you didn't know what game was, Gatling had all of the game, all of the suave. Yep. Mac was laid down.
When we turned around on the two, she was like, "It's Winry." You know what I'm saying? She respected the game. She respected the game.
She had no choice. It's like, listen, some women can ignore greatness if they want to, but sometimes even Winry be like, you know what, you did that. My name Winry. What's your name? Sometimes she holler at you, and it's okay. Because if you did that, you did that. You understand me?
It's like, yo, what? Look, you got to give it up sometimes. You got to give it up. But like those moments I think are real cool. But I'm gonna throw it over to you real quick. Let me get some final thoughts, and where can they find you concerning the dope issue that we finally got a peek at. Uh,
Final thoughts, man. I hate what happened to my man at the council. I need more answers as to why my man at the council had to get
yeah,
slaughtered
Callus,
like that. Like
Callus.
what did Callus do to deserve this? Right? But I'll I'll go on a limb and say that
Oh man, hold on. Let me see. Let me
I'm
see it.
I'm back my I'm
All
back
right.
my phone. My phone had rang. I'm sorry. I'm thinking he probably deserved it, and I'll just let it go, right? But it to me, it was like maybe it was a death too soon. I wasn't ready for.
Yeah, I mean, even the Tri Council says
you know,
that maybe they were being overzealous.
I don't know. I'm a little traumatized. So that's my final thought. My final thought to the Coreupt team is I am traumatized because soon as the story starts, somebody get killed. Why he got to die
Yeah, they blew up a
so
half a
quickly?
moon.
Right? We gonna start off? We gonna kill this thing. Why he got to die? Wait a minute, hold up.
And who is
Right,
this
but
gold person?
yes, like why are we killing this man? Right, but like I said, I'm having fun. I'm being silly. Find me Open Mind, spell it with a Y on Twitter. I am Open Mind, spell it with a Y on IG, and the Recap Fantasy Sports Podcast, spelled just like that. Recap with two P's. We about to get our stuff going with the football season, so check us out. We need the little few little subs and clicks and views over there because we about to get it going over there. Me and my partner DZ. So the Recap Fantasy Sports Podcast, spell it with two P's, and Open Mind, spell it with a Y.
All right, that's what's up. And of course, on my end, man, I'm just ready. I'm ready for this game. I'm glad to see it looking good, coming together. We got extra supportive media like comic books. I'm just excited about this, man. This joint is really being done well. So NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. And until the next time that you are invaded by Dragonoff, this is from us to you saying peace.
Peace.